go so I can be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. I feel the sky come down on me. And I can't hold it much longer. Gonna let go so I can be free.
We are live, foul territory on a Friday. Happy WBC almost opener for Team USA. Yeah, you like the beat? Kratzy here, Jonesy out in Europe in Barca. Adam Jones, you like the opening music a little bit?
I like that. Get it a little going. It's 5 o'clock out here. So you guys need to catch up. I'm already in that mood to, lowering my day. So hey,
Getting
I
ready
like
to go
it.
out. The sun's going down. You're ready to get the night going on.
it's on its way down. Exactly. Wait for mama to get home with the kids, and we're gonna have our night.
We're going to have a little happy hour, too, about halfway through. We're doing it every Friday. We'll do a little toast, especially because we're about to start. Yes, the World Baseball Classic has begun, but we're about to start Team USA's voyage. And it's not just USA, Dominican Republic, Venezuela. Like, there are names that have been playing, and Ohtani's been awesome. But now we're about to see superstar squads, including the top two favorites in Team USA and Dominican Republic. They'll get going this weekend. One group in Miami. It's a really loaded up field in Miami. And then Team USA is out in Arizona. You know a little something about Team USA, World Baseball Classic. Pretty fitting to have you on today, Adam. Are you fired up for this?
It's a good time in having. No, I'm thrilled for everybody. And obviously, the Asian brackets in Taiwan and Japan starts early, but obviously due to traveling stuff. But I think it's fantastic. The most important thing, though, you take out of this is that players are going to get scouted. It's not, again, you want to win, you want to do all that, but players are going to get scouted. There's players that were playing in the Panama League. I'm watching one of the dudes, Caballero, hitting 450 in the league. Somebody over in Taiwan, Japan, Korea, they look at it and be like, hey, this dude over here, you might be able to help us. And that might change his life going from, I don't even know what they make in the Panama League. I can guess that it ain't that damn much. Going to Taiwan, Japan, Korea, potentially making a lot more, which since I played there. So it's bigger than just like, oh, yeah, we're playing for our country. Nah, you guys can actually secure jobs elsewhere. So Gracial did that last time he played in the 2017 WBC for Cuba going against Japan. So it's a showcase, obviously, but you want to win. But it is just a showcase.
Somebody's always watching. Somebody's
Always.
always watching. And
Sure.
it's like a minor league adage, but some of these guys, you're going to hear throughout the WBC, some of these guys are lawyers and firefighters. And yes, they're not just going around and being like, hey, you come out and play. And these are people that have history playing. You don't just like jump out of bed and throw 90 miles an hour or hit a homer. Like, these guys have been playing, but they've been playing in some pretty grinder leagues, like to play in the professional leagues in Panama or playing the professional leagues in Colombia. Like, they're not necessarily like ability wise a step below the minor leagues, but facility wise and stuff. And so to get this opportunity to represent your country, like Jonesy said, but also to show yourself on a stage. And this is a world stage. Like, these stadiums are hopping, and this is an opportunity for these guys to get themselves a payday and an opportunity at a really, really good team.
Hey, I was thinking about something. What about like the Czech Republic team? Obviously, you know the whole story about them. A lot of them are obviously, they work normal jobs. What if, I'm trying to think of the movie with the lefty that he was a baseball coach, and he was like, if you could, the kids baited him.
Oh, the rookie.
The rookie. What if one or two of those guys gets a job, like they're, again, just like a normal civilian turned like biggest stage. I know they're going nuts in the Czech Republic. When I was out in Regensburg for the qualifier, which Spain did not make it, they had so many people. Obviously, Prague was very close to easy drive, but I didn't even know baseball was in the Czech Republic. And like that, you never know. That's so amazing. Because everybody's eyes are always on you, man. And that's what the WBC, that's what the Olympics are. That's what any type of sports, that's what sports gives you. It gives you a chance.
Especially in countries where it's not the biggest sport. A country will rally around a sport, especially one that's cool, like baseball in the United States, right? You're looking around in the Czech Republic and you're like, well, I don't care. We're not good. Oh, wait, we're winning a game in the World Baseball Classic, let me pay attention a little bit here. It's just like fans in the US that get into certain sports during the Olympics, especially if they're good. So that part's cool. Also, we're going to talk to Andres Jimenez. I'll go over the guest list real quick for us. So Andres Jimenez, superstar shortstop, or second baseman, I should say, of the Cleveland Guardians. He started in the All-Star game this past season. He's playing for Team Venezuela. Venezuela's team looks really good on paper. So we'll ask him all about that. Molly Knight, who's a national baseball writer and has her own subscription website for you to sign up for to follow her articles. And she does a great job. She's written for basically everywhere big, Times, Athletic, etc. She's going to talk about the WBC and the pitching and maybe a little bit of lack of big star power names for Team USA. And then Garrett Stubbs, who's playing for Team Israel, and he's a fun guy to talk to. So we'll get the word on what Team Israel's looking like heading into a big World Baseball Classic for them, and they're taking on some behemoths. So we'll see what he says about that. Kratzy, first off, I love what you're wearing. We'll go over that later during Krat Tats. But for the podcast listeners, rocking a little Japan getup there. I like it. The warm-ups looks good. But question for you, because this is how I'm going to get into asking Jonesy. Did you ever address a team? Did you ever do a team speech or anything like that? Maybe it was even in the minor leagues with the younger guys being like, hey, let me tell you what's up.
Less in the minor leagues, more in the two times that come directly to my recent memory. I got to address the team after we lost in Game 5 of the 2020 season. But before the series against the Rays there, I got to address Aaron Boone told me that he's like, we'd love for you to address the team before we go into the Rays series. During the COVID series where we were in San Diego, we had just beaten Cleveland, and we were moving on to play the Rays. And they told me, he's like, you're not going to be on the active roster. I was on the active roster for the previous series, but he goes, we're not going to keep you active on this roster. You know, you can't carry 3 catchers. So I understood that. And he goes, but I'd like for you to address the team. So I'm sitting there like, address the team? I had like 12 at-bats for the season. Like, I was there hanging out, but like, it's an honor to be able to address the team. But throughout that whole time, there was a lot of like rah-rah speeches. So my thought was, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to try to lighten it up a little bit. Because I live in a world where I like things lightened up. I wrote a song for the team, and I sang a song based on the rhythm and the words of Hey There, Delilah. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I'm forgetting
Plain white
who sang it.
Plain white tees.
Like, hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? You know. So I changed the words, and the boys were rolling. Like, at the melody, I forget. Ah, man. Maybe
Wait,
come to me
please tell me someone either recorded it or you have the lyrics still.
I'm sure I have the lyrics somewhere, or even if because I would write them down on like the back of like the hotel menus or something and stuff it in my backpack. I did it several different times, but yes, that was more of a lighthearted one. Jonesy's was like a pump the boys up, and I did that one time when I played for Team USA when I was in just the whole Team USA thing. Like, it just, I'm not from Japan, but like it just gets me hype watching the games. Like, these games get you hype. And I, so I gave a speech during that, but that was, the real rah-rah.
I don't think Jonesy did a song for all of the legendary players and all-stars that he was playing with in 2017. What did you deliver for the boys back then?
Mine was simple. I mean, because we got down to camp in the first couple of days, obviously filling out each other. We all know what our mission was, obviously, but we all done play together. We all bat second, third, and fourth on our teams. Now you got to understand that, guys that are hitting in those lineups, somebody's got to hit 7, 8, 9. That's just how a lineup works. And I remember me and Kinsler just talking, and Posey was just there. He just was overhearing. He was just like, "What are you guys talking about?" We was like, "Hey, we just want to just address the team because like we got a good team. It seems like a lot of people want to say something, you know what I mean? Because you got look at the roster. Look at the roster right now. Look at all these teams' rosters. There's somebody who is. I mean, most of these guys are the captains on their teams or the leaders on their teams. So we're like, somebody got to say something. So I was like, look, I'll talk. I'll deliver. I don't care. So I got up and just talked to the guys before we started playing. I'm like, look, we got an opportunity to really do something special. I was on the 13 team, and it seemed like the same way where there was a lot of cooks in the kitchen, and not one person just wanted to be like, look, I got it. Let's just follow my lead. And we had a hell of a team with J-Ro, Brandon Phillips, David Wright, Mauer. It was just, I mean, their team was unbelievable. But it didn't seem like one person could like grab the reins. And even going back and watching 09 and 06, it never seemed that. Even though they had the great teams, again, I'm not on those teams in those locker rooms, but it didn't seem like that. And if you watch us in 17, we all played like we knew each other. I mean, the infielders were phenomenal, obviously, with Arenado, Crawford, it was our second baseman. Oh, Kinsler, obviously, Hosmer. I mean, we had just a fantastic team, and I just let them know, like, hey, we really got a shot to beat these guys. Dominican wants to punch us in our face. Let's take that shit from them, and we did. And I understand Miami. I think that was obviously we played Dominican twice. Miami, that's when they came back against us. San Diego when we won. The atmospheres is going to be favorable to Dominican Republic, 100% in Miami because proximity. And it's Miami. So Venezuela has the favoritism. Every Latin team has the favoritism over Team USA in Miami. Arizona, they're not going to have favoritism against Mexico, but everybody else, they will. So really, fan-wise, America is going to be down. And I was letting these guys know, we're in their territory. We're in Miami. Okay? If we played this in Salt Lake City, we got a shot. We're not in Salt Lake City, okay? You got a shot. We're not playing there. Down in Miami, we go into Versailles afterwards. Let's get this game in. But it's going to be tough. It's going to be a hell of an atmosphere, and it is like I get goosebumps talking about it. Watching that catch. I'm glad that the WBC started, so something else is going to happen. Cool. So hopefully something iconic. But it still gives me goosebumps because man, you put on that uniform. It's different for those 3 weeks. It's different. It's different. I get the Orioles. It was fantastic putting on those. When you're wearing Team USA, where you're from, your heritage, when they were in Dominican, Puerto Rico, Cuba, it's just different. And let those guys know. We got 330 million behind us right now, not just your city market. Let's do it all for them. And the guys put up, and we played baseball. We played really good, fundamentally sound baseball with some big hits.
Did you feel like it had to be said? You said, you kind of were looking around like, should something be said? And when you said it, were you guys like, yeah, like, let's get it?
I think so. Yeah, I think it was just like, I know something needs to be said. Like, you can feel that, just feel that energy. And I was like, man, let's go out there and do this, man. We can do it. Let's play hard. Again, it's spring training, but it's not spring training. Because we knew that going into it. Because in spring training, we get days off. We play 5 innings. This is playing 9 innings. I played 7 games, 9 innings. And I've never played a 9-inning game in the longest time. So in spring training, I think maybe before then, maybe like, I don't even know, to be honest with you, 2013, 14. So it's just training your body. And then we just let everybody know, look, we vets. We know what we're doing. Let's go out there and do it. Come on. It's baseball. We got our team behind us. We got our families behind us. We got our fans. Once we got to San Diego, we had to get the first bracket. Once we got to San Diego, LA, because it seemed like the Mexican fans didn't want the Dominicans. They wanted us. So we took everything we got. I'm from San Diego, so it seemed like they was out there for me too.
Did they tell you? Like, did they tell you? Because we've been talking about like workload management. This guy's not going because of contract. This guy's old. This guy's like, did the team?
Guy's old. Don't play him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't play him. He's too old. Like, did you go, like, did somebody from the Orioles, I'm sure, Buck, he has his hand with every little thing. So I'm sure, did he pull you in the office with the GM and say, okay, listen, what did Buck call you? AJ or 10 or Mr. Roots? What did he call you?
A bunch of them. Jonesy.
Jonesy.
A bunch of things.
Did he call you in and say, Jonesy, look, the team has this blocked out. Or actually, he puts his hand in his little pocket here. Jonesy, the team has it blocked out that you're only playing, or did you say, piss off, I'm playing for Team USA, this is my career, let's get it?
It was a mixture of both. I was like, look, I got an opportunity to play for Team USA again, and he was like, All right, because of my track record of being healthy. So it was he had no, there was nothing he can be like, well, you missed time last year, you couldn't go off of nothing. I mean, I played I think going into that year, maybe I played 155, 156 games, something like that in center. So I think he trusted my my ability to stay healthy, my ability to my work management, workload, and preparation to be healthy for it. And that's most important. Like I started everything a month earlier instead of February. Get to spring training. The veteran guys, that's when they get to hitting. I started all that in January. I started the running before Christmas. Right after Thanksgiving, had to run off all that gravy. So I just started everything a little bit earlier because I knew the importance of being in shape and how no matter how much you train, you're going to be very much in pain the first week of spring training. So I wanted to minimize that and like make sure that my arm was already like that first week. Okay, get through the soreness because by the time I wanted to get to the WBC team, I wanted to be able to just let it go with freedom like it would be early April. So I just did everything 3 to 4 weeks earlier.
Hey, so let's ask Andres Jimenez about that right now. Cleveland Guardians All-Star and big-time member of Team Venezuela down in Miami right now. Andres, great to have you. We're excited to have you throughout the season. So let's piggyback off what Jonesy just said. How did you prepare yourself for the WBC, maybe a little bit differently than seasons in the past? Because you got to be ready to go first week of spring training, right?
Yeah, we have to, man. We have to be ready for the games. Are gonna be exciting games. It's gonna be a new thing for me because of my first time representing my country, and it's gonna be fun. Especially with the teams that we are playing with. They are great teams, and it's gonna be fun.
Hey, Andres, how is it representing Venezuela? And not just normal, it's not just a normal situation. You represent Venezuela in the WBC, one of the biggest stages, one of the biggest brackets, and you're going to face one of the biggest teams. But encompass all that with the team you got. You got Miggy, a Hall of Famer. You got Altuve. Then you go with the young guys like yourself, Acuna. How is that encompassing? You got the viejos, and you got the jóvenes. How is that just encompassing and then you guys wearing the proudful colors of Venezuela?
For me, I'm living a dream. I feel like I'm in the All-Star game every single day here. You see the guys around, and you got so many silver sluggers. You see so many Gold Glove winners. You see a lot of MVP winners, and you have the young talents. In the same page with the old guys, with the viejos, and it give you more time to realize where you are and what you want to do. And it's special for me. It's like a dream every single time. Here it's been here 2 days, and I feel like I am in the All-Star game every single time. For me, put the Venezuela jersey on my chest is just a huge honor. And you have to take a pride of it.
Bienvenido, Andres. Eric Kratz. I'm going to try to do Spanish and English. My baseball Spanish, I need to practicar más, so maybe you can help me, but I'll ask the same questions in Spanish and in English, all right?
All right.
Is that good? Okay.
Yeah,
all
that's
right.
perfect.
Tú eres mejor segunda base en todo Grande League. Tú tienes oro guante, sexto MVP y estrella. Are you the best second baseman in the big leagues? And the reason I ask this is because you have a Gold Glove. You were sixth in the MVP voting. You're an All-Star. And on your WBC equipo, Altuve. So are you the best second baseman in the league?
No, I'm not. You said it clear. Altuve's in there. For me, it's a huge honor to play, on the side of Altuve. Just a great guy. One of the best on baseball, if it's not the best. But for me, it's just a huge honor, and I'm really happy to be with him on the field and try to learn every single day, especially what he did yesterday. It's just crazy, what he can do, and he's a special man.
Hey, Andres, give us a glimpse of some of those conversations that you're having. I mean, just like Jonesy said, it's Miggy, it's Acuna. You mentioned Altuve, Luis Arraez, Eduardo Escobar's hilarious. We know that. I mean, every minute he's got a new joke.
Oh, yeah.
So give me some insight on some of your teammates. What are they like? Who are you meeting for the first time, and what kind of conversations you're having, whether it's about baseball or about life?
Some of the guys I've been playing with them, since minor league. So there's kind of like a connection there, but it's not the same because you're in the same clubhouse with them. It's just special. Just try to ask good questions. Try to learn about the game. Try to learn different situations, and to be ready when the time for me comes. Try to be ready with those advice that I hear and that I take from here, from there. And it's just like I said before, just a privilege to sharing the clubhouse with them and learning every single day with them, and hopefully we can win this.
I want to ask something and take it away from baseball a little bit. That clubhouse, y'all got a lot of money in that clubhouse, Miggy. I mean, just a lot of money. Who's paying for the repas, pepitos, shawarmas? Who's paying for it?
I'm gonna tell you that they put in. I don't know who's paying for it, but they put in a great food, Venezuelan food. So
Oh, I
we are
bet.
enjoying. We are enjoying the food really, really well. In my case, I'm eating. Try to eating a lot. Um, for me on the season, I don't have the time to, the enjoying that kind of food every single time because we fly into cities where we don't get, Venezuelan food. But here I don't know who's paying for it, but we are getting a great Venezuelan food.
Yeah.
Jonesy's like, I don't know who's paying for it, but it's not me because there's
I
some
want
dudes
some,
richer
though.
than me.
But I
Yeah.
want some so bad.
I'm the youngest guy there, so
You don't pay. You keep your hand, your dinero in your pantalones, man. Hey,
and keep eating.
qué próximo hoy para todo equipo y para ti? What's next for the team? What's next for you and you guys? Like, what's your schedule for like, how do you lead up to these games? Para listo para otro juego para próximo game.
Yeah, we played yesterday. We come here to Miami. We had a practice. We had all the preparation that we need. We have a practice today, and then the big game tomorrow. Everything starts tomorrow, and try to prepare ourselves mentally and physically to be ready when the times come tomorrow. Try to be 100% ready and try our best to win a ball game.
Hey, Andres, do you feel like this team has a chip on its shoulder? I know there's so many stars that are very accomplished, but for Team Venezuela, they haven't won yet. They've got great names on the roster. I was pointing out, too, like the pitching staff. I mean, you've got Jose Alvarado in the bullpen, Ranger Suarez, depending on if he starts or comes out of the bullpen, Eduardo Rodriguez, Pablo Lopez, Jesus Luzardo has nasty stuff, so and many more. Is this team saying, hey, I know we're going to play against Puerto Rico and especially the Dominican Republic, who I believe is still favored? Do you feel like the team's going, it's time for us to make a name right now?
Yeah, obviously, every single time that you have a great group of guys, expecting the more of it, especially when we have guys that win everything. Obviously the expectations are there, but we are as a team, we are together
Uh-oh.
in the same way that we want.
You still there, Andres?
Is he there?
Yeah, he's there. We see him.
Oh, he's good. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here.
We lost you for a second. Jones, you want to ask him about the speech, or should I do it?
Oh, yeah, I was saying, has any of the big dogs, La Caballeros, anybody got up and let you guys know, giving these speeches? Because obviously Miggy, Salvi, guys who have played in 2 to 3 WBCs, played in the national teams on many times the Caribbean Series. Have they just given any advice to the situation, to the magnitude, to everybody?
Yeah, everyone has been sharing their advice with their experience in the past. Just basically enjoying, play as a team, try to win for our culture, for our people, and try to do our best. But at the same time, trying to enjoy the game. Obviously, Miggy is one of the best enjoying the game, so that's the clear advice that he gives us. Altuve as well. So they are the leaders in the clubhouse, and they are doing great job for us, the youngest players. Sharing those advice that hopefully help you to performance.
Would you rather win the Venezuelan Liga, WBC, or the MVP?
That's a good question. I don't know. I will say all of that.
All of it in the same year? You got to choose one.
MVP got more money attached to it on the back end. I know that.
I don't know. It's a good question. For now, we focus, obviously on the WBC, and then the other teams are coming next to. So I don't know. For now, we are focused as a team, for our country and for the name that we have on the chest. So.
Hey, Andres, question for you, because this is kind of strange to me. So you're in spring training with the Guardians, and there's some new rules, right, with the pitch clock and the shift restrictions, which I think your team plays a different kind of baseball that I think will thrive with some of those new rules, because it's a more contact-oriented team, smart team, a little more small ball. You guys move at a really quick pace anyway. Is it weird to go play in spring training with the new rules? Now you're going to play in the WBC, and hopefully for your team for the next 2 weeks with the old rules. Then you're going to go back to the new rules for a week into your season.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but we know at the same time we have to adapt to the new rules, and we have to adapt to any circumstance that we have in front of us. So yeah, it's kind of weird a little bit because I was practicing like pre-step on defensive side, and here is way different. So you have more time here, and then go there knowing that you have to do the opposite that you was doing. So it's kind of weird, but we have to adapt.
Again, you see, I don't care that much about baseball. We got a tie to Barquisimeto. I played for Cardenales de Lara in 07. I'm sure you know that. I put up
Yes.
some hell of a numbers. So, I mean, I was a la leyenda down there. You was probably a little joven. But, like, my favorite food there was arepas. Every time I can get them, anytime before the game. I mean, they trust me. Game at 7, they bring in a whole tray of food, like 6:30. Like, it made no sense. Fried food, too, with big sodas. What's your favorite favorites of the Venezuelan cuisine?
I will say the empanadas and the pabellón. I really like those. But at the same time, I have to be good eating arepas, So I kind of leave home, without arepas on my stomach.
Oh man,
no robobases con arepas.
Yeah, they give you speed, man.
They give you speed.
Wait, what did you ask, Kratzy? I don't know what you said.
I asked them if you could get stolen bases. Are there stolen bases in arepas? I said might give you speed to the baño, man.
Yeah, before the game, but then you're gonna be ready.
Listo.
Hey. Well, Andres, this was really great. We are super excited for you and for Team Venezuela. We'll watch you guys this weekend. We're going to have you on all season long. So this is a great first start to have you right before you get your games going down in Miami. Have the best time with all of your super famous friends, and we'll watch you this weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it, and I see you guys soon.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Awesome.
Que diga Salvi. Gracias.
Wow, Kratzy, I did not know you had that in you. Did you like Google Translate all of your questions and then write them down? Or that's coming from what's the brain in Spanish? What's brain?
I don't know. Cabeza. That's my Spanish, like just from my head. So there's a lot of space up there. There's a grande cabeza, man. Huge head. No, I checked some of them. I checked some of them on Google Translate, and I wrote some of them down the way I'm going to say them. And I'm like I wanted to ask him. I got so many more questions, but he'll be on a lot more. So
yeah,
I love it.
I
enjoy it. I enjoy it. I don't know if you guys noticed it. And this is kind of like, when you talk about like players that have value as a, as a completely average player, like we discussed earlier about my war, like value, like when I started speaking Spanish to him, I saw him smile. Like, and Jonesy's been in other countries. I'm sure you've been into other countries, Scott. Like, there's a sense of comfort maybe when you see people or you hear people speaking your language, and whether or not you know Spanish and and in a Spanish-speaking country, there's a comfort in somebody speaking your language. And you know what? I'm going to screw up in Spanish, but I'm going to give it my best.
It's effort. I mean, that's all it's effort. They want you to just try, and they'll correct you. They know what you're saying. They just want the effort. In Japan, it was the same way. Like, I mean, that's the hardest language to learn besides like Mandarin and all that kind of stuff. But at this point in my life, I'm just like, I got to learn something. I'm here. I'll be doing myself a disservice. And I would tell my interpreter, like, hey, we're doing infield, outfield, batting practice. I don't need you out here. I can be around my teammates. I know when we did 27 outs, I can look at the situations and see what it is and like what he's saying and remember it and be like, okay, and look and visualize. Baseball, so it's sports, it's visual. So they loved it because they would ask me to like scream it out the situation, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. But then you get comfortable, and even if you mess it up, they laugh at you. They love it. They want that. That's all they want is the effort.
It's a connection. It's the connection, and it really is like. Maybe you can look at it from a selfish standpoint. Like Jonesy's like, well, I don't want to feel stupid out there. Like, come on, bro. Like, you never laughed at anybody that said
you ever
something
seen me play?
a little bit. Yeah.
Like, you ever seen somebody play the game? They look stupid. So I'm fine with it.
Yeah. Like even when I was in Japan for the two-week stints, like I wanted to learn Japanese as much as I could. I have Japanese teammates. I think it first started in 14. Aki, he was I'm sorry, not Aki. Iwamura was in 2010. We played in AAA together with the Rays. Remember Akinori Iwamura?
Yeah, the second baseman.
Second baseman. He was playing third for us.
Smoked a lot of heaters. Woo.
All the time.
Oh goodness.
That's old school. Not many players in the past
Japan,
20 years are smoking heaters. Yeah, in Japan.
Hey, Japan, watch the Japan and China game. I bet they was in between dugouts, just right in between each other. Oh yeah.
They have the stretching room down there, and I mean the stretching room, but they don't smoke it like we smoke. Like people here smoke cigarettes differently. They're just like Jimmy Leland style, like gone.
Yeah.
Gone. But no, but that's a connection. Like you're a teammate. If I never played with anybody that knew Mandarin, so I'd never had to think about that. But I learned how to say I farted and did you fart in Japanese because I think that's funny. I think that's funny. Like if a Japanese guy, like just switch your roles. Don't be so selfish and think about just yourself. If you're in a place and you're sitting there and a Japanese guy comes in and he looks around the room and he goes and asks, "Did somebody fart?" I think that's hilarious. So
you would die.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I learned other things too, not just that. But I'm not big into like learning all the curse words like some people say. Like that wasn't applicable to me. Yeah. Scotty might.
Yeah. Do they not cuss?
They don't cuss much. I would ask my interpreter, like, how do you say the F word or something? Because if I want to say it to the umpire, he's like, Jonesy-san, no. We don't say that. No. We don't say that. But if you see any of my home runs, I learned how, like all my home runs, I didn't hit many over there. But I I said, gerishiteru, and that means diarrhea. So I would say that every time I hit a run, it's like gerishiteru, and all my teammates would scream it. It'd be so funny, and like fans caught on to it because when they hear me saying something in Japanese, they always were like, "Huh?" It always shocked them first, but then I started talking in Japanese. There's a lot of like YouTube videos from them doing like pregame stuff. And I'm just on the cage and stuff, just speaking Japanese. And they loved it because it was an effort, and opposed to just be like, I'm an American. I need a cheeseburger, hot dogs, and some nachos and the biggest beer you can find. Leave me the hell alone. That was Justin Smoke. He was mad because he couldn't find beer. The only reason he left. It wasn't the baseball. I mean, his family couldn't come. But he called me like, God damn it, Jonesy. all I want is some beer, man. Just want steak and some beer. I can't find no damn beer, man. And I'll be rolling. I sent him a picture of me with a big, nice, tall glass because I'm in Osaka. He's in Tokyo. I didn't follow the rules. He had to follow the rules because he plays for the Tokyo Giants. So, it's funny, man. Just again, it's the connection. You try, they love it.
I love that. That's good shit. Okay, so I have a couple more questions for you WBC-wise, and then we're going to get to Molly Knight, who's going to get into the pitching part, especially for Team USA. So we didn't get to finish on the speech. We got your side of it. Here's the next chapter, okay? So you have your big speech. Everyone remembers it. There's 2 carryovers from the team that you played on in 2017. They're actually teammates now in the bigs. Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt. Apparently, the other day, Paul Goldschmidt gave the team a speech. He delivered and talked about, for example, hey, this is not an exhibition. This is not the All-Star game. Everyone's serious. They're playing for real. And he said he took certain pieces from your speech and brought it on. So can you do a Paul Goldschmidt impression of what you think that speech sounded like?
If it's Goldie, I think Kratz might have a better shot to Goldie.
Go for it, Kratzy.
You might have a better shot.
Jonesy probably knows what he said, but he would just be like, it probably had to do something with like him going, the one time I ever listened to Paul Goldschmidt talk, it was like, did I just get better at baseball? Like, it's, remember the commercial back in the day? It was like, Albert's like, I am not a machine. Like, I would love to see a conversation between Paul Goldschmidt and DJ LeMahieu. DJ would say less, and so it would make Goldie talk more, but then it would be, and then I'd mix in there like Corey Kluber too, and we would just not get that much out of it. But
you're bringing people that all have like this machine, that like Kluber's the Klubot, right? Pujols is the machine, one of his nicknames. And Goldschmidt, if that nickname was already taken, or LeMahieu, since it is already taken, would have been a machine. Yeah, these are machines in terms of like, they are just like robotically consistent and not necessarily going to host a 2-3 hour podcast for you.
No, but on the flip side, I would say he would back it up with like what Hulk Hogan would say, like, eat your vitamins and get some rest.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. Make sure you get your proper hours of rest. Games are important, guys. No, one beer after the game, relax. But being around him, I've talked to him in the cage, and I'm sure it was on the lines of that, and just like, hey, let's go, let's be prepared, because he's one of the most prepared guys in the game, and let's play hard. Like, it's, trust me, it's different. It's going to be obviously their bracket is favorable for them in Arizona, but once they get, hopefully they get to the Final Four. It's, if we're predicting right, them, Dominican, Japan, the Netherlands, or Puerto Rico or Venezuela. Obviously, hopefully there's somebody that sneaks in and upsets somebody, but you're gonna see a different thing, and the only people that ain't gonna have no favoritism will be Japan. They're gonna be coming over here solo, just all solo, and so they're gonna be the only one. So it's gonna be fun, man. And I'm glad that somebody said something. I'm glad Rosenthal wrote about it, because sometimes you want to keep things like that secret, but at the same time you want it public, because that we're here for one reason. We're all go. We're full go as a unit. And, we do have leaders, and we want to make sure that our leaders get their due.
Okay, so who do you think's paying for team dinners for Team USA? How did that work? Do you remember? Because Jimenez, and I love it, he's just like, I ain't rich. I'm league minimum, dude. So I don't even think about it. I don't even look. But did they do that? Or was it like someone with the team, like official, covering it? Because you got some rich dudes sitting down there.
On our team, Posey was definitely top of the food chain.
Mm-hmm.
We were hoping Kershaw and Scherzer came, because we know
they can handle a bill.
But a majority of us, though, were in the middle of our contracts and making pretty handsome salaries. So, Stanton, I remember I went out to Stanton. I was like, nah, I'm coming with you. He's like, I'm going to dinner. Nah, I said, I'm coming with you. No, I got my wife's not here. I'm coming with you to dinner, bro. You paying. I'm getting ace of spades, too.
Jonesy, that That might be the only time you were not the most handsome man in the room. You can't just go out with
that, man. Thank
you can't just go out with G like on the regular. Like you got to make sure
No.
your fit is nice. You got to make sure you're tight up here. Like
He's a supermodel. Well,
He
back
is.
then, he's a supermodel playing baseball.
he is. He's like
Yeah,
the
really is.
Under Armour mannequin
Yeah.
playing baseball.
Yes.
He's sculpted.
And then he's in Miami.
Oh,
And then he got
he's
300 million. Not like 60, like 300. Yeah.
Dude,
and he
he's living
smells
the life.
delicious too. He
Smells good too. I mean,
all the
you got to be in
time.
Miami. All the Latins down there, you got to smell good.
I didn't know that, but I would just assume that based on the looks
Yeah.
and
Right.
being sculpted and chiseled and the whole deal. Yeah. Okay. One more thing I want to ask you about. Actually, let's get to Molly Knight about. We can mix this into the conversation because it's about Team USA. It's exactly what I wanted to talk about. So here's Molly Knight joining us. Hey, we really appreciate having you on, Molly. And you can follow her at Molly_Knight KNIGHT, and you can see on there more info on her Substack. And I subscribed this morning too. I've caught a couple articles, but I think I was on the free version. Now I'm in.
Oh wow!
But yeah, I'm in, Molly. This is perfect timing. But how are you? Happy almost WBC. I mean, I know it started already, but like really opener where this weekend's gonna be nuts. So how you doing? And are you excited for the weekend?
Well, I'm doing well, but before we continue, I need to hear more about this chiseled person you guys have been talking. What is this?
Yes.
Who is
Stanton.
handsome? Oh yeah.
So Molly, Kratz was saying to Jonesy, he was like, that might have been the only dinner where you're not the most handsome man sitting at the table because you got Giancarlo in Miami rocking the, probably $10,000.
The button was right here open.
Oh,
Yep,
wow.
buttons open.
Right,
he's
right
got the
there.
stylist with him right before he goes.
That thick. Yeah.
Yeah, let me tell you, Giancarlo, I believe he's from LA, and I believe he lives here in the off season. And some of my friends have been invited to hang out parties or whatever, and he is a very popular guy. Let me just say, you're right, he is a good looking man. He's popular with the ladies.
No
I don't know
doubt.
what his status is. I hope I'm not blowing up his spot or anything.
No,
but
I think he's done. I think he's married now, I believe.
Oh, okay, yeah, great.
I believe
Perfect.
so. Yeah.
This is the past anyway, but I'm just
Yes.
saying he never had any
no breaking
problem.
news.
Girls were very excited to be in the same room as him. And they didn't even know. And my friends don't follow sports. So they're like, whatever. I won't name names, but at one time a player put their phone number in her phone as so-and-so parentheses New York Mets. So, like a lot of my friends don't know who the baseball players are.
Oh, is that a move though? See, wait.
No.
Before, that is not a move. I
No.
mean, come on. You
No.
gotta, that is like beyond name dropping. In case you didn't know, I play for the Mets.
And if I tell you off camera who it is, you will not be surprised. Anyway.
Oh, I bet. Okay, now we're going to be thinking the whole time.
WBC.
Anyway, WBC, yeah. Okay, let's start here. So I read your article.
Yeah,
you wrote about,
yeah.
and this is the big story, I think. If Team USA loses, it'll probably be because they don't have the pitchers that could be there, and especially starting pitchers that, I mean, the biggest names in the sport, many of them could be playing for Team USA, but they're not. We've actually talked about this at times throughout the week. You've got the younger pitchers who are pre-big-ass contracts, so they're not going to go there. You've got the older pitchers like in their high 30s, like a Verlander, Scherzer. Kershaw couldn't play because of the insurance. So what are your thoughts on that part of it? And I know you wrote in the article, like, I'm not missing a dinner reservation if I'm not getting a Scherzer Verlander kind of game.
Listen, I will watch the other countries play each other. But USA, I'm like, I wanted to see the best pitchers of Team USA go against that Dominican lineup, man. And we're not going to get it. I mean, Adam Wainwright's one of my favorite players of all time, just for what he's done in the community and who he is and just how he's so good and been so good for so long. But he's also older than I am. So I'm a little bit concerned, like, how is he going to get these guys out, And I don't know. What do you guys think? How are we going to incentivize players and teams to risk it all in March, right? Because you're not sending DeGrom out there. You're not sending Garrett Cole. You're not sending Spencer Strider, Aaron Nola. What are we doing? None of the Americans. So I did the thing. Their top 20 Fangraphs pitchers from last year based on Fangraphs WAR. 13 of them are American-born. None of them are going to the WBC. The 2 Japanese players are going because it matters more in Japan, right? And then we got a Venezuelan dude and a Dominican dude. And so some guys have gotten hurt. The Mets pitcher, Quintana, got hurt, and he was going to go. So, I mean, it's not all just being shy about it. So what are we going to do, guys? How are we going to incentivize the best pitchers to do this? Because teams and pitching coaches are having heart attacks about their guys going. Sorry, my dog wants to.
No, that actually helps us on social. Like if the dog wants to be in the shot, like it probably. I'm just saying, like, I know how the algorithms work. We can do the same conversation, but if the screen looks like that, we're gonna get like 10x the views. But Jonesy, pitching. What do you think? Like for Team USA?
Jonesy?
Yeah, because you guys had good pitching, but and Stroman was insane. He was so good there, but you didn't have like a certain echelon of other names joining him.
Of course, there was always that question of like, does Team USA yield the best players? They were talking about it with the pitching staff. Then they were talking about, since I'm in center, Mike Trout's not in center. Other shortstops, other players. Like, why isn't this player playing? Why is he playing? I think it boils down to personal. Really, I think for pitchers, it's really tough to get that arm going at that capacity that early. I believe that's unless you start early. Like, again, there's ways to do it. There's always ways to do it. We're athletes. We are incredibly adjustable. But I just think they don't want to do it. I think they don't want the pressure of doing it. We were supposed to get Kershaw in 2017 when we went to San Diego or LA, I believe. There were rumors about it. I guess I shouldn't say anything was confirmed, but there was rumors that we're going to get Kershaw. The setting would have been perfect. Him throwing either the semifinals or the championship game against Japan in Dodger Stadium. There's Scherzer coming off a great year. There's always Verlander, DeGrom. And you're like, damn, why don't these guys want to do it? Most of the guys played for them while they were younger. So it's like, it's really not incentives. I'd rather be in spring training, my comfort zone. And there's other things that they want to do. They might be battling little injuries that they don't talk about, as we all do. But to that, I said, screw that. The guys that signed up and committed, this is the best team that we're going to go with, and we're going to kick somebody's ass. I can't be mad at Garrett Cole for not wanting to do it. I can't be. But I had Marcus Stroman. I had Tanner Roark. I had Chris Archer, guys that wanted to be a part of something special. Again, are they the best of the best starters in the game? No, but these are some top-level starters that, especially at that time, coming off 2016 season, coming into 2017, were inning eaters, very low ERA guys, and guys who pitched to contact, and they had a great defense. So it's the give and take. You want the star power, you want the star names, or do you want the guys who really want to be there rather than the guys who, my name is big, so let me be there. Because now you got all the big guys, especially the position players. You got all the big dogs. Because so now, is there an excuse? Because they had all the big dogs in 06 and 09. They didn't win it. Really good team at 13 didn't win it. 17, we won it with a lesser-known team, to some people's dismay. But now they got it back to a star-studded team. What happened?
I know. When I saw that Dominican lineup, I was like, if I were a pitcher, I'd be like faking a positive COVID test or something to get out of facing these guys. And I don't take COVID lightly, but like, Jeremy Pena is the weak link in that lineup. Are you kidding? Like, that guy is. Yeah, that guy is like one of the best players. I mean, didn't he win like freaking World Series MVP or something? Like, what are we doing? Mm-hmm. So you're right though. I mean, you want guys who want to compete. Sucks. Kershaw really wanted to be there, and you're totally right, Adam. Like he did participate as a teenager, and I think he thought, okay, I'll have some time later in my career. And I think, he's in his he's 34, 35 now.
This is it.
So he's like, he's 34, and he's like, and he's not going to be one of those guys who pitches until he's 45. He doesn't want to be mediocre just to get whatever. He wants to be on top. So he'll only be around for a couple more years. So this is it. So
I look at it as like the slam dunk competition. It's like you always wanted LeBron in the slam dunk competition. You want Verlander, Scherzer, DeGrom, Kershaw
Yeah.
in this situation, and it sucks that we won't get it. You know, as a
Right.
fan, I'm a big fan too, even while playing.
Yeah.
Although I'm next to McCutchen and Yelich and Stan, I'm like, damn, that's really them. That's really them.
But
That's
I
really,
think
you know.
I think that's why people gravitated towards you, because you seemed like you were having a really good time playing all the time.
Oh, 100%. Oh, every
And
day.
a lot of guys, and to be fair, it's 162 games a year. So sometimes you got to take plays off, or you're going to lose your mind. I mean, it's not possible to be like, you know, every play, but you brought a joy that's lacking in a lot of these guys. So thank you for that as a fan.
Thank you. Appreciate it. But I think this year going to be good
Yeah.
too. You got personalities. Mookie, it's a great personality. I think Trout
yeah.
over the last couple of years has opened up to everybody
Yeah.
a little bit
Yeah.
more. I mean, we know he wants to go bow hunting and sit in the blind, but I think he's
He
opened up
wants
a
to
little
look
bit
at his
more.
weather apps.
Exactly. He's like, look at this camera. Ooh, there's a good buck that just ran by. I mean, but but he's opened up to, and that's, I guess, everybody's wanted that. I mean, I wish we had Harper, but he's going through the injury.
I mean, not his fault. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got a really good team with personality. So I hope that they bring personality, because that's what we did. We just had fun, had personality. And that's what this tournament is going to be, because when you see Dominican, Puerto Rico, Venezuela get a single, they're going to act like it was a walk-off in the ninth. I'm just talking about a measly blue hitter. It's going to be wild, and they're going to be going with all them damn the noise. I forgot the name of it.
Vuzavela. Yeah, those things. The soccer things. People who haven't been to a baseball game in another country, it is so loud. It's like a college football game. In Japan, like when the home team's batting, their fans are all standing and cheering. And then when the visiting team's batting, their fans are all standing and cheering. And they have the sections separated. Like, I couldn't even get into the visitor section because I didn't have a ticket, because they didn't want fights. And everybody's real lubed up and drunk. I mean, they come around in the seventh inning. First of all, the girls have, or the beer vendors have like mini kegs on their backs, and they're just pouring like little pony kegs. They're just topping people off. And then the seventh inning, they come around with water trays to help people sober up. I mean, I'm not even a big drinker, but I was like, this is incredible. But no one really drives, because it's in Tokyo, the Tokyo Dome. You can take the subway and stuff. It's like easy, so it's not a big problem. But that's the vibe there. It's a party. So I hope fans can see that. Really,
it is a party.
Full dog experience here.
Molly, the first question I have for you is that the Padres fan?
Yeah, no, George. I'll tell you why George is a Padres fan. He's hiding right now. He's a bigger dog. He's real nervous and reactive and all that. First of all, it's called Petco Park. So we already have a lead up on, because that's his favorite place to go. But second of all, I took him down there. He can't go to a Bark in the Park game because it's too much. There's too many people and food and dogs and stuff. So he's able to watch from like the Padres, as you guys know, it's more in the city. And so you can just kind of walk around, and he could see stuff and he liked it. He gets excited when they run around the bases. You know, when Machado and Tatis and all those dudes are hitting home runs and triples, he barks his butt off. The little guy, we don't know. I got to take him to a Bark in the Park at Dodger Stadium and see if he's a Dodger fan. But I let my dogs choose, their own teams. I don't weigh in there.
You don't weigh in as a writer. We've established, I'm not sure if you've seen the other episodes, but we've established that writers don't have favorite teams.
Oh, I do.
You do?
Well, I grew up rooting for the Dodgers, and then we go through it, So it's been a lot over the last 10 years of playoff, heartbeat.
That's fair. Fair.
You got the COVID ring.
We got the COVID ring. But you know what? I have favorite players.
I'll take it.
Does that make sense? Like, there are guys I watch that I want to watch every day. So it's not really so much team anymore. It's like, the Phillies are a team. The Phillies are a team that I'm like, I want to watch this team. The Yankees and the Mets, I'm always watching because everyone's talking about it. Who else is good now? The Mariners could be exciting. I don't know. What do you guys? Who are your favorite teams? Putting you on the spot.
Padres of San Diego. So I watch them religiously.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Philly fan. I played for the Phillies.
Yep.
I grew up watching the Phillies. And I worked for them last year. They fired me. I'm still a Phillies fan. It takes a lot.
Bro.
It takes a lot. I get fired often, but this is
I
this
don't
is.
even-
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
I know they can hear you.
Hi.
They can hear you, but
Oh
you
my
can't hear them.
goodness.
Well, I can hear them in here. All right, man.
Who's his?
Molly,
Braxton,
I
you got a hard-hitting question. Go for it.
I
Yeah, go
got a
ahead.
question for you. Like
Yeah.
you've written for, and I'm going to probably miss some.
Okay.
Vanity Fair, Men's Health, Self, ESPN. Like you're everywhere. You've seen baseball in other countries. We brought it up a ton. WBC. I could talk about it every single day. Jonesy's played in Japan. He's played on the WBC. What can we do? And I want you to come up with this answer because you have the cross-section of sports and popularity. What can we do to make American fans more like soccer fans, more like Japanese fans for baseball, more like I need it. Do we guys just sell Fluvenzolas at games? Is that it?
Yeah. No, we need to end the blackouts. I mean, because people in freaking Iowa are blacked out of seeing like 8 different teams, right? I mean, I'm paying like DirecTV $160 a month just so I can watch the Dodgers and Angels. I subscribe to extra innings, but I could just pay for MLB TV and watch all my teams. I mean, we wanna make it accessible to young people, and young people like I'm an old millennial, right? But like Gen Z, they don't have cable. We have to get with the times here if we want to do that. And then I do like these rule changes. What do you guys think? I mean, speeding it up. Adam, like standing in the outfield, wouldn't this have been helpful for you to not have to
Big time. I mean,
right?
the first 6 innings, yeah, I think there's going to be some little bit changes. I think to the backside of it, the 7th, 8th, 9th. But the first 6 innings, I mean, you look up at the clock. I always check the clock for some reason because I always thought 3 hours. I mean, 1 hour was 3 innings. There's sometimes you look up there and it's 3rd inning and it's like 8:50. I'm like, damn, this is going to be a long one.
So
and there's
how
other
did-
times. I mean,
yeah.
I went to a spring training game and it was the 7th inning stretch and the sun was still out. The game started at 6:05. So I'm like, well, damn, this is I mean, the sun was just getting out in Sarasota when the game was over. I think it was like 9:25. And I'm like, well, okay, this is weird. It went really fast. But I think
Yeah.
the 7th, 8th, 9th might change. But the first 6, I think that'll be a breeze. Fans only care about the 7th, 8th, 9th. I mean, I only watched the 4th quarter.
But can you explain? Like, I don't think fans grasp because I'll watch outfielders. Like, I watched Jock Peterson literally turn in a circle between pitches just to stay like loose, right? Because, well, I mean, Jock, I love him, but to stay focused might be a little more challenging for some than others. But like, how did you? I mean, the ball's not going to be hit to you sometimes. Did you ever track like the longest time a ball wasn't hit to you? Like, where's there a game where you never got a ball?
Oh, for sure. And I loved it. And I felt weird, but I absolutely loved it. And there's also games I get 12, 15 balls. So now the games you don't get balls, nah, you love them.
You love it? Why do you love it?
Yeah. Yeah, leave me alone.
But you were an excellent defender. What, you weren't afraid of the ball coming to you?
I wasn't. No, never was. But it's like, what I mean? Just leave me alone. Why you got to pick on me? I'm the deepest part. That means you really crushed this ball. You want to bother me? Just chink it somewhere. Just a little blooper, just second base. Like, leave me alone. Hit it to right left fielders. But
you didn't get bored standing there?
I did a lot of the times. And
What would you do?
That's why try and use my bow and arrow imitation to shoot our first base coach, Wayne Kirby. I would talk to the fans, listen to them. I was always, I was in the game, but I remember someone told me there's 12 minutes of concentration in a baseball game. So I remember at those 3 hours, I'm just like, what I'm going to do to focus on my time. So I would just talk to the fans, eat seeds, talk to myself, think about what's going on. I had Boo Powell's restaurant that would come over every 4th inning. So I knew the 4th inning I would be occupied by smelling some brisket.
You had food delivered every 4 innings?
No. It was the 4th inning. The breeze of his barbecue pit would come over. And so I knew that would be my 4th inning regimen. I'd smell some brisket with some spicy sauce. And it just, you figure it out because every pitch I got to be somewhere. I got to make sure my right and left fielders, my infielders, there was always something. But I did look at I did. Was it Buck Showalter always said this? Watching the paint dry. I did do that often.
Yeah.
Quite
Yeah.
often.
What was the craziest thing you ever saw in the stands? And this is for you too, Eric.
I've seen some people doing it.
I'm gonna play bad cop here because Garrett Stubbs on Team Israel is sitting chilling for us. So you got to give Adam. You got to give a quickie answer to Molly, and then I've got to do it. I've got to be the. I'm sorry, that guy.
Here's a quick answer. It was a quickie. Somebody was doing it up in Toronto, up in the hotel. And I was like, hey.
No.
Yeah, you got to close those curtains up in Toronto.
I don't have anything for you, Molly. Like I can't follow that. Like my mind just went.
You're not topping that. You're not topping that, Crafty. Just let him drop the mic. Molly, you took us in great directions on a Friday afternoon, right before we're literally cracking a drink. So thank you for joining us. Check out her article about the WBC and the pitching, and we'll see what happens this weekend. But this was fun. We'll have you on again, okay?
Yeah, I love you guys. Sorry I had to ask that question to Adam, but I'm glad we got the answer.
Hey, I was trying to be honest. We're honest here.
Yep. That's what it's all about. Thank you so much, Molly. Molly Knight with us. Yeah, hey. Jones is part of what you love about this, unfiltered.
It's crazy, though. They were actually in foul territory because I was in center looking up. They were literally in foul territory. So I'm like, ugh.
That should be a promo for the show. Hey, this is where we go. Let's go. So Garrett Stubbs is going to join us in like 30 seconds. We do this. We're like 4 minutes late on a Friday. Let's do a little toast. Crack whatever you got. It could be adult
Jenny,
beverage.
can you bring me a shot of tequila?
Hold on. We'll wait.
Por favor.
So we're about to talk to Garrett Stubbs, Team Israel, catcher in the big leagues. Israel's schedule coming up this weekend. They'll play Nicaragua on the 12th, so that's on Sunday. And then they have Puerto Rico Monday, Tuesday against the DR, Wednesday against Team Venezuela. So those 3 in a row that's a schedule. That is what we call the gauntlet. All right, you got it?
Can't we bring
coming.
Can't we bring Stubbsy in for the toast too?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Why not?
L'chaim, man.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah.
Let's bring in Stubbsy and we'll cheers to their success too this weekend. Do we have Garrett ready to go?
Maybe.
Not yet. No, not yet. All right, we'll cheers. We'll cheers before. But hey, like to raise a glass, a can, whatever. Cheers to week number 2 of Foul Territory. Many unfiltered conversations that have never been revealed in baseball history. And it's an absolute pleasure doing business with you guys on a Friday.
Cheers. L'chaim kampai. That's Japanese. I learned that a lot.
What do you got there, Kratzy?
I got LaCroix. And we're going with Pamplemousse.
Hey, Pamplemousse.
Pamplemousse. It's actually delicious and refreshing.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in Spain or on an island.
Yes, I like that.
Papaya, passion fruit, Vizzy hard seltzer. Let's get Garrett Stubbs thoughts
sugar.
right now.
Sugar.
This one's low. That's what it's about. 1 gram, baby. That's why. This is like
that. That was the only reason why you bought it.
Exactly. This is the healthy one. Garrett Stubbs joining us right now down in Miami. He's going to have no fun over the next week. 0 fun. Garrett, great to have you on. We are so excited to talk to you about Team Israel, and we were just going over the schedule. You are going to have your hands full, aren't you, coming up this week?
I mean, damn it, man. I just saw you guys toasting. This is is this on the camera?
Yep.
This is straight tequila.
Yeah, right.
So, L'chaim, Mazel Tov.
Happy Purim.
Toast. Yeah, happy Purim.
Hey, Garrett, San Diego boy, we got some mutual friends, Kyle Smith. I was texting with him before the show just to let him try to get some ammo on you, but he didn't provide me with any. But San Diego kid, man, Torrey Pines. I live out in I live in Spain, but I have a property in Rancho Santa Fe, so my kids would probably be at Torrey Pines or Country Day, depends. But growing up, give me your background story, because I don't know you from San Diego. I know I'm a little bit older, definitely. I'm 12 years older, different generation. But give me your backstory.
Adam, it doesn't surprise me that you don't know me from San Diego at all. I just met Alex Dickerson for the first time. who is a few years older than me. But I remember playing him in high school. He was at Poway High School. And I went up to him. I go, "Hey, Alex, you have no idea who I am. But I was a freshman when you were a senior. And I remember you hitting an absolute nuke off of us in high school. And that guy was a beast when we were playing high school baseball. And so my backstory, I did go to Torrey Pines. I wasn't a huge prospect coming out of high school. Kind of a late bloom. I'm still waiting to see if I'm going to be blooming here anytime soon. Somebody told me that I wasn't going to hit my growth spurt anymore recently. That was kind of a shot in the heart. But not a pretty late bloomer. Went to USC. Grew up in North County, San Diego. Went to Torrey Pines. Love it over there. Obviously, want to get back there. I live in Phoenix now, but the price tag on a home in San Diego is not in my cards right now. But hopefully in the near future, I'll get to be back in San Diego.
Stubbsy, you're not a huge prospect, but you're a huge person. Okay, don't let these doctors say you stop growing. Look at this. I mean, the flow. I mean, this guy. You have to take care of business down in Miami, but we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about your WBC team. How do you guys, especially you as a catcher, like my opinion, I think you're a starting catcher wearing a backup catcher's body, but don't worry about it. I think it'll happen for you. You're the starting guy here now, right? For Team Israel?
So funny enough, Ryan Lavarnway, who's been playing for Team Israel for the last, I think, 3 WBCs. He's been catching for the last 3 WBCs. Great catcher, been up and down in the big leagues for the last 10 years. He hits really well, and Kinsler told me that our best lineup, he thinks, is with me and him in it. So he asked me, he goes, "Do you play third base?" I said, "I've never played third base in your life." He said, "Well, can you play third base?" I said, "Can I?" Yeah, sure, I can play third base. So the other night I played third base against the Marlins in an exhibition game for the first time. I've literally never played third base ever in my life. And not tomorrow, 2 days from now when we play, I believe, Nicaragua, I'll be playing third base, and it's going to be really fun. So, no, I'm not the starting catcher on game 1, but I will start a few games behind the plate for Team Israel.
Tell Danny Valencia to kiss my ass. Well, he ain't playing third base.
Yeah,
Danny don't want to play third base. He give him a glove, he get nervous.
Danny barreled up a couple balls the other night, but I don't know if he feels like he's moving the same way that he used to anymore.
I was golfing with him last week, and he was just like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna DH." What are you talking about? He's like, "I got a reputation to uphold. I'm just gonna DH."
Hey, it's funny you said he was golfing last week. He goes, "Yeah, my golf swing and my baseball swing is about the same. I haven't been taking much BP, but I've been golfing a whole bunch, so we'll see how this goes."
Valencia rakes. He rakes. He's fine. He's going to be fine. He wakes up out of bed.
I watched it firsthand the other day.
Flat out hitter.
Yes.
Yeah, like you said, he's a roll out of bed, find the barrel kind of guy.
Mm-hmm.
The glove's at the bottom of the bat bag. I get that.
Yeah, no, left it.
Yeah,
left it.
Yeah,
shed. Yeah.
Hey,
easy for him.
So Garrett, I have a question for you. Who's like the best guy on the team or the guy everyone's looking up to? And then who's, I don't want to say the worst guy, but a guy that's going, holy crap, I get to face like half the superstars in the big leagues from Monday through Wednesday. This is going to be so freaking cool. Can't wait to call mom.
Yeah, no doubt. Funny, that's a pretty good question, especially right now. So on the latter question of not worst guy on the team, but call mom guy on the team, I believe he's a pretty big prospect now for, is it the Indians? I think he's with the Indians. Josh Wolf. He's a young kid. And he pitched last night, and he's 21 years old. And, we're playing an exhibition game against the Nationals. He's pitching in like the 5th inning, and we're getting loose before the game. And he's out there like an hour before the game wondering, am I going to be able to play catch in time? Am I going to be able to get loose in time? And all that jazz. And he's pitching in like the 5th or 6th inning, and just Mind's going all sorts of pretzel ways, and just nervous as hell to get into the game, which he's not going to be in for another 2 hours. So as far as the call mom moment, it's probably him. The best guy on the team is a 44-year-old native Israeli, Shlomo Lipitz.
Come
And
on.
he texted our group chat day one and just says, "Hey boys, we're gonna have a team dinner," which I'm all off-field moments are like my favorite thing in the entire world. That's where the winning starts, in my opinion. But he goes, group dinner day one, yada yada yada. He goes, "I'm Shlomo Lipitz. I dare you to find a more Jewish name out there in the world."
What's the scouting report on this guy?
Yeah, what is Shlomo bringing up there?
And he's
Dude.
44 years old. I'm looking at the roster. He's 44 years old. Like, what's the background? What's the vibe?
6'4", 222. This
He's a
dude
truck.
Big
He's
boy.
animal. He's an absolute animal. He's lives in Brooklyn now, born in Israel. He's throwing up there 79 mile an hour heaters with 65 mile an hour. We'll call it a high spin rate slider.
Oh,
And he pitched the other night in our exhibition game. I don't think he's going to be on the roster these next few days when we get actually in the WBC, but he was on the Olympic team in 2021, I believe, and had played in previous years. Just an all-time guy, great person, fun to be around. I wish that he was going to be on the roster, honestly, just for a good vibe check for everybody, because those guys are hard to find, and he's a good one.
Does he if he comes in the game though? Let's play this out here. Who is the one hitter in your bracket that if Shlomo's in the game and you're playing third, you're looking over the dugout like, we are not going infield in right now?
Manny Machado.
Dude,
That's what I'm
that's
saying.
exactly who I was about to answer. And I promise you, it doesn't matter if Shlomo's pitching or anybody else is pitching. I already told Kinsler, I go, "Hey man, I promise you, when we're playing the DR and you're standing over there on the top step, asking me to play double play depth, bunt, whatever, slow roller, my heels are going to be on the grass. Okay, we're not playing the new rules. I can be as far back as I want, as far over as I want. My back heels will be touching the grass, borderline shaking hands with the left fielder."
So we go from the most. Oh, go ahead.
Stubby, sorry. Back on Shlomo. Are you going to have a Shlomo jersey after this? Like, if there's somebody on your team that you're not. Look, tell Lavarnway that I said nobody wants to see him out there. You're the one that's going to sell it, okay? Because Lavarnway and I go way back. But are you going to have a Lipitz jersey when you leave? A Shlomo Lipitz jersey?
If there's one jersey that I'm buying this WBC, Julio Rodriguez, Manny Machado, Maldonado, like all those guys, great players. Shlomo Lipitz, let everyone know that's the jersey. That's the jersey you want to be buying. I gotta say, I don't think it's going to be at the team store, but I'm sure we can arrange something if people are looking for Shlomo. You're right. I might be speaking too soon here, but if we want to arrange a Shlomo Lipitz fire sale Team Israel jersey, I think we can get that done.
Love it.
Who's going to go from the oldest player to the most popular player for Team Israel, who's actually not a player, the mensch on the bench? Has he arrived?
We need to make sure the mensch on the bench is here. So there's a kid, Jacob, and I'm gonna botch his last name. I call him Steinen, but
Steinmetz.
It's longer than Steinen. I believe he's 19 years old.
Yeah, born in 2003.
Okay, so I know he's not 21 because last night we had a little team meeting out in Miami, and he wasn't old enough to come. And so he's an Orthodox Jew and going to be playing in his first WBC. I can't remember what team he's with, but I'm looking forward to watching him play this WBC. He's a great kid, Another one that was very, very nervous walking out there last night in his first big league spring training stadium, first kind of moment with a little bit more than mom and dad in the stands. And it's going to be fun watching him play. He's got really good stuff too. Not just the young age Orthodox Jew part, but he's a good player, man. It's going to be fun to watch him do his thing this next few days.
What about Jock Peterson? What's his deal? How's he walking around? What's he saying to the guys? And he's been a very clutch player for many years, so he might be the guy pitchers try and avoid.
Yeah. So Jock hasn't been with the team the last few days. I think he decided to do his workouts with his team and then come out here just for the WBC part, which totally understand. We're all loving the WBC thing. We're all super fired up to be playing all these different teams, represent our country, or whatever you want to call it. And I think he decided that he was just going to show up for the actual WBC part because, at the end of the day, when all this is said and done, we're all going to be going back to our teams at some point and fighting for a championship there too. So he'll be here, I believe, on
Sunday?
Tomorrow. I think
tomorrow,
I think he's coming tomorrow. Yeah.
Your first game is Sunday. Do you have his number, by the way? Like, is he in the group chat? Did anyone shoot him a text? Like, yo, young Jock, you better bring that, like, Jocktoberness to Team Israel,
Totally.
baby. We need it.
Some pearls.
Yeah, he's in our WhatsApp group text, and he fired a message out with Tiger Peterson, is our third base coach, which is his brother, and he already fired out a group text. I don't know what the custom policy is on here, but he fired out that he was not going to be flying across the country just to play a few games. He's coming out here to win a championship, which all of us are on the same boat. We're not just here to play some games against Latin America. We're here to win some games, man, and we got some good players. And I know we're in the pool of death, but it's going to be fun, and we have nothing to lose. So it's going to be a hell of a week.
You can say it. You can say it this unfiltered, and that's part of, almost every big leaguer that's been on over the last 10 days have snuck in at least one cuss. Like, if you want to give us the Jock quote verbatim, you're allowed.
He said,
just
I'm not
throwing it out
flying
there.
across this fucking country just to play some goddamn baseball games, okay?
Let's
We
go.
win a
That's like the
championship.
Jonesy speech.
Yeah, it's a little milder. I want to talk about the Phillies playoff run last year. I was there in San Diego. I was there basically the whole series, Padres and the Phillies. Didn't go to the World Series, but explain that Phillies run. In game one, going back to Philly, 1-1 against the Padres. You can't go back to San Diego. You can't go back. So explain it. Just delve into it.
So, you've been on playoff runs before. It's high pressure situations. Win or go home. Not necessarily every game, but damn near it, man. Whether it's game 1 or game 5, elimination game, it feels like it's win or go home no matter what. And we went to San Diego fully expecting, a packed house, and we got it. And we go back to Philadelphia, and we had already played a few games there, and knowing the crowd that we were going to be getting going back to Philly, it's, you guys have played in Philly, Kratz. You talked about playing in Philly. When you suck, Philadelphia will let you know. Whether you're on the other team or on their team, they're going to let you know that you're playing terribly. And that October run, people have been waiting for that for a decade, a little over a decade. And every time we went back home to play in those playoff games, we were fired up. And those fans brought it every single night. So going back there, playing against San Diego, I felt like even going into the World Series Game 6, going back to Houston, down a game, Bryce Harper said it best, we're not fucking losing. We didn't win the championship, but every game that we went into, we felt like we were going to win every single baseball game during that October run. And we had a lot of fun doing it, man.
Ever heard a louder moment when Bryce hit that ball? I was right behind. I was on the concession, and I still got the videotape. But I was looking at it because I don't want to be the person who's looking at his tape. I was looking at it because I knew this. I mean, Suarez, this moment, and he hit that ball. I'm a Padres fan, so I'm like, damn. as a baseball fan, I'm just looking around like, damn. At the same
Yeah.
time, you know what I mean? You guys, I looked at your dugout. I mean, everybody's jumping out. That's how Dominican's gonna be against Shaw. Just like
No
that.
doubt.
That exact moment.
No doubt.
That's what a base hit. That's what a three hopper though up the middle. But explain
Yeah.
that bat, just that moment, because that's big. That's his biggest moment of his career. You got to share that with him.
No doubt. And I was, I wasn't alive in 1980. I was alive for the '08 championship, but I got to imagine that even though we did not win the World Series, that Philadelphia will hold on to that specific moment, like you're talking about, forever. And we are not a team that comes out in front of the dugout on home runs or whatever. In that moment, you look at that dugout, and I don't think anybody knew where they were. It was a flash moment where I think everyone in the dugout knows. We call Harp the showman. Whenever there's a big situation, that is the guy that you want coming to the plate. He loves a big moment. You feel like he's going to succeed every time he gets into one of those moments, and he capitalized on it. And the fact that he looked to our dugout, who is going absolutely. I mean, Reese borderline broke both of his legs going over the top of the top rail and spinning in all sorts of ways I've never seen him spin before. And Harp's just standing there calm as hell, and felt like he knew exactly what he was about to do. He, does the Phillies across the chest. I mean, borderline no emotion. And he comes into the dugout afterwards, and everyone's waiting for him to just kind of erupt and freak out. And he's still calm as can be. And he gets to the bat rack, and all of us are kind of looking at him. And he just goes, "I just fucking did that." And all of us went nuts. I'm like, finally, you realize the moment that just happened, dude. What the hell? Like, it was absurd. And like you're saying, the stadium went nuts, and just a huge moment in his career. And it's definitely the biggest one he's had so far. And it's going to be hard to top. But a guy like that, man, I wouldn't doubt it if he has another moment like that here in the future.
How do you guys get back? How do you guys get back to where you were in that moment again and then take the next step? Because having a second place ring is not as cool as the first place ring. And how do you guys do? I mean, obviously you're not with that team right now. You're trying to win a championship here, but how do you guys do that? What's that process?
Yeah, I was lucky enough to play in Houston. I debuted in 2019, so I got to be a part of that 2019 team that might be one of the best teams that never won a championship, up there with that Seattle Mariners team that won 116 games, I think it was, whatever. Mm-hmm. But yeah, going back to championships, man, it's tough. And luckily for us, we do have borderline the same team coming back with a few additions that I think make us even better. And I think last year there was a lot of pressure. I wasn't a part of any teams prior to last year. Last year was my first year with the Phillies. But I don't know what the vibe was like before 2022. But the locker room that we have there in Philadelphia, and going into last year, you could feel kind of the pressure from the fans, the owners, the front office. They went out and spent all this money, and there was a serious sense of urgency to get it just into the playoffs, let alone to the World Series. I think for us to get back there, it's kind of just understanding that the pressure's off of us as far as getting back to the back to playoffs. And knowing that the players that we have, we can get to a championship and we can beat anybody on any given day. And we have a hell of an NL East division to get through. So it's going to be a lot of fun this year. Our locker room is, I think, the best in the league. And, you guys have been part of championship teams, championship runs. And I in my opinion, I feel like that's where it starts. I listen to Kevin Millar talk all the time about that 2004 Boston Red Sox team. And the first thing he always says is how awesome the locker room is. And I think that we have the locker room to do it. And it's going to be fun to watch the Philadelphia Phillies this year.
Oh, yeah. Millar loves talking 04. They also, like, ripped a shot when they were down, like, 3-0 to the Yanks or something. You know, those crazy Boston days. But, hey, you're right. You guys have one of the coolest clubhouses in the game, and I mean that in a variety of ways, from the talent to the personalities, the whole deal. So you're living the life right now. Team Israel, you got Shlomo, you got Jock coming, you got the Phillies when you get back. So, Garrett, this was awesome, man. I hope to talk to you after you sweep through, what did you call it? I said the gauntlet. What do you call it? Murderers this week?
Yeah, the pool
Murder's
of death.
always good.
The pool of death.
Pool of death.
Yeah.
Good luck in the pool of death. You're the ultimate underdog story. It's going to be freaking awesome. We can't wait to watch you guys. And cheers. L'chaim, baby.
L'chaim, boys.
I
Tequila
ran
shots
out.
for everybody.
L'chaim, good luck. Of
Cheers
course,
for you,
Jones is
Stubbsy.
finished.
I ran out.
Thank you. That was great. Garrett Stubbs with us. Wow. There were so many sound bites in there that I want to keep forever, from the WBC to, how about, I hadn't heard this one before, Jonesy. Harper has spoken a lot about that moment, but the one little nugget he gave us about how he goes, I just fucking did that. Like that one I had not heard before, and that's cool. That's real.
I mean, obviously those cameras are in the dugout and they're annoying as hell. They're trying to get everything. Rosendahl, we love him, but he's annoying as hell a little bit. Trying to get an interview after guy just hit the biggest home run, the biggest moment of somebody's life. Rosendahl's like, hey, I got on a bow tie. Ask me how that go. I'm like, come on, man. Like, let me process it. But that's what you want. You want to know the camera's trying to get everything, and the cameras can get some and the majority of it, but the players hearing it from their mouth, there's nothing better because he's right there. I mean, the camera is there, but it's not. You can't grab everything. He's literally right there. And I watched the replay, I watched the game, and you can just see how stoic Harper was. Maybe he scared himself and shocked the shit out of himself. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe just like I just freaking did that. Like, did I really do that? Like, of course you did, dude. Like, you're a stud. But maybe he shocked himself because that's a huge moment. And that stadium went insane. Like, insane.
Yeah, that was nuts. I mean, Kratzy, you were there in Philadelphia for it. Like, before they fired you, that was a vibe.
I mean, he was right, Stubbsy. And look, like, I love Stubbsy. Like, backup catchers don't get enough love, so I'm always going to beat that drum. He is an awesome dude, and he is a really good player, and just another piece in that cog of the Phillies system. And they're gonna miss Harper. They're gonna miss Harper right here at the beginning of the season. But man, when he comes back, his presence just in that lineup is amazing, and let alone his presence in the fact that, like, Jonesy plays every day. Molly kind of hit on it like, you can't concentrate Jonesy was out there every day. He wanted to play 162. I think Harper wants to do that too, but there's something to be said about you come to the field and you look at the lineup, the lineup's hung on the door, and you're like, what? Adam Jones isn't playing? The Phillies are going to do the same thing. What? Bryce Harper's not playing? Like, is everything okay? Like, he's not our guy. Like, that's our guy. There's a stability in that. There's just a stability in the fact that Adam Jones is going to bat first every single day game, night game, and he's going to be able to do something, and you're like, whew, all right, now we only have 8 other players to worry about.
Yeah. I think that stability that Harper obviously brings is amazing. It's going to suck. They're going to miss him the first 2 months or 3 months. He said the All-Star break is his target. And I look at it one or two ways. It's similar, or basically one way. It's like how the Padres last year, it was all about the Dodgers. Padres, they can get in. If the Padres get in, they can run a chance. When is Tatis coming back? Are the Padres going to make a trade? Obviously, they made a massive trade in going against Soto, but also it was like, are we going to make another move? We didn't need to make another move because we're getting Tatis back. That's like a trade. It's going to feel the same way to the Phillies. As long as they stay in the hunt and don't, if they're 15 games out at the break, Harper coming back ain't going to do nothing. But if they're, if they're right in the thick of it at the All-Star break, Harper coming back is going to be a jolt of energy. It's going to feel like we just got a trade and we just got a big jolt. And that dude can go You can get hot as anybody ever. And just imagine you get hot for 3 months, hot for 2 months, hot for 6 weeks. It doesn't matter. But down that stretch, and he's healthy. His legs are going to be under him because he had elbow surgery. So his legs are going to be healthy. A guy that's been on his legs a lot, he's going to have a really, really good chance to rest him. He doesn't want to. It's unfortunate he has to, but they're going to get a really fresh Bryce. And especially, I think he's 30, 31 now. Anytime you can get freshness as you get over 30, it's always a plus.
Yeah, he hit off a tee yesterday. On Thursday, he's going to take more swings soon. I think he's going to be on like an every other day kind of situation. He's coming back from the Tommy John on the throwing elbow. That was a bit of news from Thursday. Also from Thursday, I just want to sneak this in there. The Marlins picked up Yuli Gurriel and Jose Iglesias. They've got a young guy, Jacob Amaya, who's a really good glove. I don't think the bat they feel comfortable with yet, and Joey Wendell probably better in a super utility role. At least that's where they want him. But I do want to get to this before slap hands. Futures Friday, okay? So, Jonesy, last week on a Friday, we covered the National League West. Today, we are going to show you American League East predicted win totals. So, Vegas Insider hooking us up with the Vegas numbers, right? So, they've got New York 94.5. Toronto 90.5, finishing in second in the division, right ahead of Tampa Bay, then Boston, then your boys in Baltimore. They've got about 76.5. There's a lot of people that are taking the over. Out of the park baseball simulations running things for us, and they've got New York under that 94.5. They've got them at 89. And remember, Rodon's now hurt to start the year. They've got Toronto under at 85. Tampa Bay a little bit under at 86. So overall, they're saying like the AL East might be a tad overrated this year. Boston at 82, and then they've got Baltimore at 81. So focus on that left column there, Jonesy, and give me one team that you're going either over or under what Vegas predicted. Where do they have it wrong?
Well, can I bet on it? Can I legally bet on it?
Of course you can.
Well,
What's the rules in Spain? What's the rules in Spain?
Well, I mean, I work with MLB also, so I mean, I need to call I gotta call my lawyer. I gotta ask. I gotta call my lawyer at MLB.
Well, even if you don't, then you got to hook us up and tell us what to do.
Sure. Toronto to me is a team that they did not do what they needed to do last year. I think everybody on paper, they were one of the best teams on paper. They were, I think, favored to win the East. Obviously, the Yankees are always in that conversation. Baltimore snuck up and stole some wins. I like how Insider compared to Out of the Park shows that the Orioles are going to steal some wins from teams like they did last year. I would flip Baltimore, Tampa. I think Baltimore, I don't think they're ready yet to take over the East. Obviously, I mean, that requires a couple big sizable moves, you know, especially at this point when they're not rebuild no more. They're in the upward swing of the talent, like they feel that they can play. They're not there yet because they still need, I think, another year of guys, another healthy. They need to get John Means back healthy. Grayson Rodriguez is going to be coming and showing up.
They got to sign some guys too, Jonesy. I mean, they didn't really get after this offseason. No, I'll say it. I mean, they didn't, and it's okay, right? Like they didn't sign guys, but so the thing is, but you think, and you're all over Baltimore, like that Vegas has them at 76.5. So you think they're closer to a 500 ball club, which would mean 77 wins or more. Yeah, I
do, because if they're in the same predicament that they were last year, at the All-Star break when they were like making some noise. If the Brewers aren't, Rosenthal talked about it last week. If the Brewers aren't in it, the Orioles have so many prospects to trade to get Corbin Burns. His price is going to be high. He don't even like it there no more. You know what I mean? Once you get a riff like that, like that's your ace. Like you get a riff like that, that's a no-no. That could be somebody that is a pitcher that can definitely put them over the edge, I believe. But again, you have to play 3.5 months. You got to play 80 games, 90 games to see where you line up at.
Jonesy, I'm not gonna make the rules here, but you got to say over under on something. I mean,
he just did, Patsy. He's going over on the Orioles. He's saying the Orioles
over on the Orioles.
Yeah, shouldn't be 76.5. He's saying that they'll be at least 500, right?
Yeah, I think they can redo 500 or better, depending on a few factors. Obviously, there's a few factors. The Rodon injury is big for other teams because no pitcher is going to replace Rondon in that staff, in that organization. So these are where you can take wins from other teams, which, it's part of it. And the Orioles did a lot of that last year, and I just think that they have more of a hunger this year. I'm not a homer for them, trust me. You ain't seen me tweet about them in 4 years. I met with them last week, had a good time with them, but they just have an aura in just a different feel. Like we're tired of getting smacked.
For sure. No, I can see that, and they're on the come up. They're coming out. I think you, Scotty, you said it with the AL East. Maybe Vegas isn't like it's maybe not quite the powerhouse. I think part of these numbers, based on the fact that they're gonna beat each other to death. Like even in the years when Boston is not good, they're not coming into New York and being like, yeah, well, it's New York. Like we got, we'll just get through these games. See what? No, they're coming in and they want blood. They're gonna beat them. They're gonna try to beat them as many times as they can. It's not like there's not really a doormat this year in that division. I'm taking the under though with Boston. I just think Chris Sale could have a really good year. I really like Tanner Houck. I don't know. How many innings they're just going to get from their starting rotation. Bello is an awesome young prospect, but I get it in a time when starting pitchers are not throwing very many innings. Like you don't have to call a guy up to throw 7 innings an outing, barely even 6 innings. But my fear is that we're not even going to get to the 5th inning, and they're gonna wane as the season goes on here. So I got Boston as the last place team in the division, but I also have them as the under.
Good call.
What about something we didn't think about though? Is the balanced schedule now? So it's not 19. It's not going to be, because I remember playing against when New York and Boston whooped our ass at 17-2 in the season. You ain't gonna have that. Those were some terrible times. So you got 12 games in your division. You got other games, so with other teams. So it's the balance. I think the balance schedule is perfect. It's great. Everybody gets to see everybody, but it could, could create unbalance at the same time.
Well, and that's why in the AL East, they've essentially got 3 90-ish win teams predicted here. This was really difficult for me. I would say probably the most difficult, because I could see the Yankees in that mid-90s range. I think even though Rodon injury is going to hurt, at least to start the season, I think Luis Severino is going to have a big year. Cole's going to be Cole. And Nestor Cortez is fantastic. And I think there's some guys that'll actually bounce back lineup-wise too. Judge, I don't think he's going to necessarily hit 62 homers, but he's still going to be Judge. I think that's pretty accurate there for the Yanks. Could I see them winning 100 plus? Sure, but I could see them going through that lull like they've had in the past, like last year. So I thought that was good. Toronto, out of the park, had them at 85. I could see that, but it's tough for me. You're waiting for Toronto to really break out. So that one was tough. I didn't want to touch that. Thought about going under on the Rays. Had a tough time with that as well, just because I think the pitching's outstanding. They didn't do a ton to add to their lineup, but Wander Franco was hurt for a good chunk of the year, and I think he's going to have a huge season. I think Arozarena is going to break out. They've been talking about him, saying this is a version of Arozarena that looks more like the Babe Ruth that we saw in the 2020 postseason. So I didn't want to touch any of that. And with Baltimore, I think that's pretty on the money for me, just because I didn't think they did much in the offseason. So I think there could be some sophomore slumps. But for me, I still think Baltimore is going to be ahead of Boston. I think Boston's the last place club in the AL East this year. I really do. I don't think there's enough pitching there. They didn't really do a ton in the offseason. They lost Xander Bogaerts, who I think it's going to burn them. He is so consistent in that lineup. He plays, he posts, and he puts up numbers. So I think that's going to hurt. Devers re-signing was huge, but Devers has been there. The thing is, you're looking at the team and you're like, are they better than last year? Because they weren't good last year. And I don't think they're better than last year. So for me, that's where I'm going. I'm with you, Kratzy. This isn't TV bullshit where we have to pick different teams. I'm going the same route as you. Boston, I'm taking the under. I'm looking at more low 70s in terms of the win total, maybe 73-ish, 74, something like that. So that's where I'm sticking.
That ain't going to make people in Beantown happy.
But people in Beantown are pissed as it is. I can tell you. They looked at this offseason. They're like, why are the Padres outspending us right now? We are Boston. What is going on? And I agree. I'm with them. The thing with, you've seen this, Jonesy, the Yankees are always playoff contenders. And people in Boston get jealous about that. Even though the Red Sox have more titles in the last, whatever it is, 10, 15 years, people in Boston are like, why can't we consistently be in the playoffs every year? Why is it a roller coaster? Why some years am I on the highest of highs and other years the lowest of lows? So I think they're still here.
It's not the market. It's not the market because Boston is not, obviously it's not New York's market, but it ain't Baltimore's market. Yeah, they're extremely. That's education world right there.
Yeah, Boston, they're rich. Go to a Red Sox game. Yeah, Fenway Park, packed just about all the time. So anyway, that's my pick. Let's do slap hands before we hit the weekend. A couple happy birthdays. Josh Van Meter, Ben Davis, Phillies broadcaster. You friends with him, Kratzy?
What a
best strip club voice in the world.
What a jawline.
Yeah, he's a handsome man. Oh, I forgot. I should do that. This is my shameless plug because I'm the ambassador for Out of the Park Baseball. You can pre-order right now. There's a link. I think we posted it. March 24th is when the game actually comes out. You'll get the voiceover with yours truly. Boom, there it is. Oh, it looks nice. Fresh logo this year too. I got an early peek at the game. So thank you, Out of the Park. That's our simulation that helps us with the predictions and the stats. They do a great job with it. So appreciate you. And now let's do a little slap hands action. Kratz hats, it's time. Give your shout out. What are you wearing today? Unveil.
This is, while I spent less days here, I played in more games than I did with the Red Sox. With the Red Sox, I was there for 2 days and I got fired on the third day. This is the New Haven Ravens. It's not even a team anymore. Jonesy, you're probably too young to have played against them. But we played at Yale's Field up in New Haven, and it was a glorified high school field. But the team, listen to some of these names. Guillermo Quiros.
My boy.
Alex Rios. He was Alexis Rios at the time.
Oh.
Dom Rich, John Fagan, Anthony Sanders, who's now the first base coach for the Orioles.
Yep.
And this one is my personal favorite, John Ford Griffin. Studs. Champs that year. League champs.
I was in the Mariners in the minor league system there, so I went the Midwest League, and then I was always West California and PCL.
Oh, this was Double A. I forgot to mention that they were in the Eastern League.
Okay, I was Texas League, hotter than hell.
Ugh, never been there.
Yeah.
Jonesy's like what? How many minor league teams did you play for, Jonesy? Like 3?
I did Appleton, Wisconsin, Inland Empire, San Antonio Missions, and Tacoma Rainiers. I did it in 2.5 years. It was a blessing. It was a little bit.
Really, I really feel bad for you. I know there's a side of you that's really hurting all that time you spent in the minor leagues.
I was in the back with the guys with the laptop and the DVDs, listening to it, watching with the big headphones, watching my movies too, watching my series. I'm saying,
you barely even finished the movie. You were in the minor leagues so short.
You're like, boom, here I am. All right, so let's finish with this. To finish slap hands. Adam, what's your? It could be a quick one, but what is your speech or your words to Team USA this weekend, or just your thoughts too on the team? Because like they're I think second to the DR in terms of favorites to win this thing. Yeah. DR's got a stud too. They've got an ace too, with Alcantara at the top of the rotation, and their lineup's just as good.
Oh, congratulations, DR. Congratulations. You didn't win last time. You won in 13. Congrats. You won there a long time ago. It was 10 years ago. I don't know how people have the favorite and when they didn't win. That's like saying I just seen a new poll having Nick Saban as higher than Kirby Smart when Kirby Smart just won the last 2 championships. That makes no damn sense to me. But Team USA, do what you do best. Be explosive. I mean, the guys, you got the talent, the world of talent. Cut the egos. It's not about your egos. Play baseball, score more runs than them. That's all that matters. The name across your chest is the only thing that matters during this tournament. Play hard and beat their asses. And show as much emotion as them. Don't be afraid to show as much emotion as them. Everybody gets happy, gets sad, all that. Show emotion because they are going to bring it all 9 innings. So bring it.
And also bring it. Try and top Adam's legendary moment, the most iconic moment in definitely in the U.S. in World Baseball Classic history. So our military shout out of the day Camp Pendleton, San Diego County. That's the major West Coast base for the U.S. Marines. You know what's up. Exactly.
Yep. Very well.
Since you're from San Diego. So shout out to them. Always really appreciative of your service. We do it every day here on Foul Territory. And one more toast. Wanted to shout out and bring her on here too. Claudia Olson, our producer behind the scenes every single day, doing 80 things at once. Really, yes. Deserves,
but it counts. It
deserves
counts.
this. Yeah, it's
I'll have
coffee.
champagne later.
Please do for us. Yes.
I will.
What a day. What a show. Thanks for watching or tuning in if you're a podcast person. Foul Territory next week, loaded up with guests. Enjoy WBC weekend, and we will talk to you then. Yeah, give Jonesy and Kratzy some beats and Claudia before we get out of here. Come on, bring it back.
Yes.
What was that?
The motorcycle's outside my window.
Is it really?
There you go. That works too.
All the sound effects we have,
Motocross.
don't worry. That's what happens when you live in Miami, guys. Cheers.
Cheers. Happy Friday, people.
Yes, sir.